The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our webcast this afternoon. AAA Western and Central New York and AAA Member Choice Vacations return to travel. My name's Brian Murray, the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I'm delighted you decided to spend some time with us this afternoon as we talk about travel opportunities. And, it's been a long summer, long fall, and a lot of pent-up demand for travel. People are asking us, what can we do? When can we do it? And so forth. So we're really excited. AAA Member Choice Vacations is a great partner of ours. So we have a great program planned. I do want to let you all know that you're in listen-only mode. However, if you do have questions, please feel free to type the questions in your question panel, and we'll entertain questions at the end of the program. I also want to let you know that our guest will be talking about some promotions and amenities with AAA Member Choice Vacations. In addition to that, AAA Western and Central New York is offering all attendees of this program an additional $50 savings on new bookings made by the 15th of December as well. So a lot of pause in travel, but a lot of excitement to get back to travel, hopefully very soon. I'd like to introduce Kevin Ferguson, Business Development Manager with Member Choice Vacations. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your valuable time here as well, Brian. Thank you so much for all of our attendees here as well. We get it. 2020 has been an absolutely unbelievable year, and it has been tough because a lot of us want to travel, but we don't know where to travel to, and we want to feel rest assured, rest at ease, knowing where to go, and know that you've got a friend on the road helping you out. And that's what truly Member Choice Vacations is for you, the client. We were voted by AAA National just recently in early November as the Partner of the Year for guided travel for the third consecutive year in a row, which is great because it gives you confidence in knowing that, hey, AAA backs Member Choice Vacations of what they're going to be able to do to help you out prior to tour, while on tour, and much more. So the purpose of today's presentation here is a few things. Number one is to help you to instill confidence in investing in travel in 2021, as well as our best promotion of the year, which is our biggest sale of the year that's going on until December the 1st. And lastly here, discuss about our enhanced flexibility in terms of for just policy-wise, what we're doing to help you to feel comfortable traveling, not only just in 2021, but even well into 2022. So really, we always say the early bird does get the travel worm and out, and we want you to be out and excited and ready to travel with great opportunities, a great savings, and less travelers than years past. So again, as Brian said, my name is Kevin Ferguson. I'm the Business Development Manager for Central and Western New York, as well as Southeastern Pennsylvania for AAA Member Choice Vacations. Been with the industry now going on roughly 14 years. For the first 7 years was a tour manager out on the road, right in the thick of it all. US West, national parks, a little bit of Europe, South America was my focus. And I'll tell you this is that it was great to be able to bring people's dreams alive. And I know most people right now, we're all dreaming that we are able to get rid of 2020 and get right into 2021. So I want us to kind of take this little travel pill and let's fast forward here into the future of much brighter and better things here. So first of all, as a AAA member, what's in it for you, the consumer? Well, there's a number of things. Number one is that there's going to be a member benefit available for you. That's going to be $50 off per person. And in addition, there is going to be an additional $50 to sometimes up to $75 in a travel credit that you can be using towards a prepaid optional tour that we offer. Now, prepaid optional tours, or an optional tour that you prepay for ahead of time, will help you to really be able to plan, budget, and just get your trip in lockstep with what you're going to do. But having a little bit of extra savings will help to just make it much more enjoyable and much more affordable for you too. So we do offer those little things, but there's much more, and we'll describe that in just a moment. So let's first of all give you a bit of a teaser, and this is going to be for our biggest sale of the year. Biggest sale of the year is going to be really varying on destination and departure, or I should say departure date and region. So it's going to be, and I emphasize the word up to, because the majority are going to be between 10 to 15% off on the land portion of your travel experience. 20% is going to be for South Pacific, so primarily Australia, New Zealand. And the majority of this sale is going to be for departures from May of 2021 all the way well into 2022, up until March, April time. So differences in there is that for domestic tours, we do have that sale, that offer going on for departures even earlier in 2021. And a little bit later for Oberammergau, which is the Passion Play going on in 2022. Now, we do have a few other things I want to point out. Our flexibility, I've listed it right here on the screen here for you. It's going to be for any tour or departure for any reason up to 60 days prior. If you have to change your plans, we get it. There is no penalty going to be asked for. And so you're not going to have to pay out on any penalties because you wanted to change your plans. We get it, we understand it. Right now, a lot of things are just kind of wait and see. And we know that with the positive information that we're hearing about vaccines and much more developments over this fall here, is that we want to help you, to encourage you to understand that this is for any departure all the way into the end of 2021. So you do have this added flexibility. Number two is that you are also available to take advantage of our top-notch travel protection plan, our insurance waiver at Member Choice Vacations. Literally to the day prior, if you have to cancel for any reason, sick cat, bad hair day, bad hair life, pandemic, yes, COVID concerns, we get these questions all the time, 100% cash back. Not a coupon, not a travel credit. The fall of 2001, we gave back $37 million that fall. People didn't want to get on an airplane after 9/11. We understand, those things here right now of just that uneasiness, but I want to let you know is that it's better to have insurance and not need it than need it and not have it. While on tour, you're going to be protected here as well, whether it's going to be things like baggage issues or medical problems. And yes, to answer that C word of COVID, if you have to be quarantined, or if there's something that happens while on tour, that word COVID, I even hate saying that word, but that is just considered a trip interruption, and your insurance kicks through on this here as well. So again, make sure, especially just knowing how things have been, you'd be crazy not to have insurance on your investment of travel. Number three is that we are looking at roughly about 30 days out in whether to see if a trip is going to be operating or not. And this has been the mainstay literally since the end of January. Once things started in China, these were the same policies for our trips in China in January, and then it went to Italy in February, and then it spread globally here in March and beyond. But it's very simple and it's very clear cut. Number one is that if we, as a company, Member Choice Vacations, has to make that decision at 30 days prior to cancel a tour, because again, your safety and security is the number one most important things. You are going to be price protected on a date for future travel later on in 2021. Number two, this is really going to be for one that says, yes, I'm signed up on a destination, but I don't want to do that destination and I'm looking to go somewhere else. This is the travel voucher, and this is valued at 105% of the money that you've already put in on your experience here. And so if you pay just deposit and insurance, well, it's deposit and insurance plus 5%. And that's probably 5% more than you're going to be getting in interest in the bank right now with that money. But that's going to be available for you too. And again, can be used on all those different parts. So working with your travel consultant at AAA Western and Central New York, they'll be able to assist you there. Number three is our full cash back. And this is for ones that says, you know what, I just don't want to go at all. And it's unfortunate because you've planned so much time and energy in travel to explore, to see, But this full cashback option has been a popular one here in these uncertain economic times. So far, we have given back over $115 million in refunds to customers that didn't want to travel. And that's a really good thing, because especially during this crisis here, I want you to make sure that you understand that this is something that is not new to us at Member Choice Vacations. I mentioned back earlier, we've been using the same cashback refund for decades, back to 9/11 and even prior to that. While on tour, I want to emphasize here for you some of the steps that we're doing here to create a enjoyable and safe environment here for our guests while on tours. Now, this has meant many things here, because to create that well-being of safety and security, we're doing things like currently smaller groups, use of face covering, social distancing, all those other different protocols here as well. Our local ground operator that we use on all of our tours is Colette Vacations. It's the longest running tour operator on the globe. You can see at the bottom, it has their site here, colette.com/traveling well. But we will be issuing things out, for example, a pre-tour health screening, just to see how things are, how are you feeling while on tour here as well. Wellness protocols have been enhanced, with our partners. So the motor coach operators, the hotels, even our private sedan service that we use for picking you up and dropping you off on all air-inclusive bookings, whether you're in Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, anywhere 50 miles from that airport here to help you out. Now, if you're up in Watertown or you're down in Ithaca here, we do have an extension of up to 75 miles. Just working with your consultants, either up in Watertown or in Ithaca there, can assist you on that much more. But again, we're here to help you out, to make you feel at ease, not even before you get to the destination. Now here, again, some of the other different steps. Again, using face masks while on tour. Very important here right now. We actually will be giving you a face mask in your welcome documents that you'll be receiving prior to departure of tour, and much more here. So again, we're using these things here, and we're really staying strict and true to our words here, because we have been, and we are still traveling. We started traveling back on July 3rd of this year, albeit in destinations where we knew that the pandemic risks were at a low level here. And again, why we're looking at this at 30 days out is really because we're monitoring these places on a date-by-date, destination-by-destination scenario here. So even though we can't go internationally right now, some of the places that we have gone include Wyoming and South Dakota, Colorado on our Trains of the Colorado Rockies tour, our Painted Canyons of the West tour, which is Colorado through southeastern Utah all the way out towards Vegas. And on the East Coast, Georgia and South Carolina, our Southern Charm tour, as well as Nashville and the Smoky Mountains, and our Spotlight tours. These are one hotel, multi-night stay journeys in New Orleans or in San Antonio, where we've been operating these as well. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, South Dakota. Here in 2020 and into 2021, right now at this point, we are doing a max of 50% capacity on the motor coaches. We've heard the word V or the letter V a lot here lately, vaccine, and that we know that in time, and because travel has become very, very fluid over these last 8.5 months, is that we know that things are going to be ever evolving and ever changing. At this point, 50% capacity, so on a 44-seat motor coach, 22 is that maximum size here. But with vaccines and other new developments here in the world starting to being released here, that numbers may change. But again, we will be monitoring, we will be updating you, the traveler, throughout your journey prior to departure to give you what that is. 2021, though, I do want to focus on this here, is that we will, once things open up larger again, is that there will be some dates that have smaller groups available on it there, maximum size of about 29 people. So again, on that 44-seat coach, smaller numbers there, and again, allowing for more adequate physical distancing and social distancing, because again, safety and security is the #1 most important thing there. Those departures that have happened from July all the way up to November here have been roughly about 15 to 20 travelers, but we know that a lot of people who have been on the sidelines, whose trips were canceled in 2020, have moved to the second half of 2021. So I just want to be as transparent with you as possible. What's been also amazing to see here as well is that the response of our travelers out on the road, because again, since July we've been touring, we have our survey results right here on the screen. I love these numbers. Number one here, 100% of the guests that have traveled with us felt comfortable and safe while traveling on tour. That's a very big confidence booster right there for you, the consumer, or the traveler, the wannabe traveler. That's how I feel it right now. Number two, 4 out of 5 felt that the precautionary measures that AAA Member Choice Vacations and our local ground operator Colette did had absolutely no impact on tour enjoyment. And 9 out of 10 said that they had an excellent overall experience while traveling in 2020. Okay, so some shots here of just what it looked like on the road here in July, early August. This was in South Dakota before things spiked here in the late fall, but as you can see, the adequate social distancing, the masks on in use here, and people are able to enjoy and able to travel here. This is a shot taken from the Tatonka, which is the Story of the Bison, located in Deadwood, South Dakota, actually built by Kevin Costner, who did Dances with Wolves. Going out here, feeding the burro or the donkeys here in Custer State Park, the largest concentration of American buffalo or bison in the United States are not in Yellowstone, they're right here in Southwest South Dakota. Or one of the tour managers on the road here, Beth Meredith, showing off here the Badlands here. Again, the stories here of the pioneers of the homesteaders, I should say, or Laura Ingalls Wilder, who wrote Little House on the Prairie. This was the area that this all started to be. Working with your travel consultant, we do have a few things. Number one is we do have a worldwide travel guide. This is really for somebody that's, I don't know what part of the world I want to start with. We do have this available, but I will tell you, we do have a lot more available on our website, which is AAA.com/MCV. Now, there's not going to be any price difference between using our website and using our travel consultants right at AAA Western and Central New York. The difference, though, is going to be that you have support, you have a friend that has been there, has seen what it's all about. So I'll tell you, this is that the internet is for looking, but working with travel agents, that's really where your booking power is going to be. And they're going to be able to provide you so many other different resources here as well of just what it's like in those destinations, because they've had our travelers go out on tour with them as well. Now, here we have a number of different travel styles. We have spotlight tours, which I had mentioned earlier, domestically speaking, places like South Dakota, or spotlight on Santa Fe, spotlight in New Orleans, spotlight on San Antonio. That's one hotel, multi-night stay journey here. We're gonna be able to unpack, use a drawer, stay a while. We do have faith-based journeys. So again, place like Israel or Italy, to go to see the Vatican. We do have those faith-based itineraries available. River cruising, we dabble a little bit into that. So on the Rhine and the Danube, as well as places like Egypt, doing the Nile, we have it. And of course, our explorations, and this is small group touring, on average of about 15 travelers, no more than 19 to 24 here as well. And really, it's all about delving into the local culture. So if you're culturally curious, if you want to have these really wild, unique hotel stays, we have this here as well. And again, what's nice is that it will continually follow that small group platform there of, again, on average, 15 travelers. That's like 8 couples, you know what I mean? Here, just to show you what has been popular over the last 3-4 months in terms of what has been booking, what has been gobbled up and said, I want to do this, is really not necessarily just domestic travel. You do see the National Parks of America on there, but you have people that were country counters now turning into continent counters, where they said, oh, I want to go see South America. I want to go on a safari in Africa. I want to go to Japan, especially with how much we've been, with local ethnic restaurants here, whether it's Vietnamese or Japanese or whatever. It's all about eating your way through a destination, and really we can do that here for you at Member Choice Vacations and let you explore and see more. So working with your consultant here, they can give you, these amazing itineraries, and not only that, but also really tell you about the best time of year to go. And that answer is when you can. I think we all realize how fragile life is and how we just need to do it while we can. So as I mentioned earlier, biggest sale of the year, up to 20% off on land. That's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in savings here for you. Again, because it's broken down by region as well as time of year, you can see that 15% off level for Australia and New Zealand is really going to be because it's their high season there. When it's high season there, it's because it's the best weather. And remember, here in the South Pacific, it's opposite seasons to what we have here in Central and Western New York. So again, when it's winter here, it's summer there. And October, January through April of 2022, those are going to be where it's at 15% off. And at lower shoulder season times here in, again, November or December of 2021, amazing opportunities here as well. If you want to get away from the dark dreariness of November, an amazing time to see Australia and New Zealand is during that month there, because again, opposite seasons. Here, Europe and the Middle East, again, from that May timeframe of 2021 all the way up well into March of 2022, you do have this available. And again, so if you're not feeling comfortable about traveling at all in 21, definitely do take advantage of this amazing sale for 2022. And I love seeing the month of March there too, because it's a great time to get to Europe, lower crowds. Weather is probably a little bit better than it is in our neck of the woods, but also you're taking advance of lower crowds, great pricing, and Easter will be very late in 2022. It's April 17th. So you'll be able to get back in time for those springtime holidays here as well. And again, September and October, that's prime time season here, but we do have, again, a great savings level there for you. Small group explorations, again, throughout several different continents, whether it's going to be Morocco or hanging out with the Masai Mara on a safari in Africa, or in Patagonia in Argentina and Chile, or even on cultural treasures of Japan, we do have this available for you. So really take the opportunity now. People do not want to have stuff anymore. They want to have experiences. That's why they go to concerts, they want to go to this. This is what travel allows you to fill that void. It helps to fill that void in your life, because you need to go explore and see. Make it happen for you in 2021 or 2022. As well, again, places like Africa, whether it's safari time, September, October, very popular months. But I do want to point out times like late January, early February, that's really good for a few places. Number one, if you want to go and do wine tasting in South Africa, that's when the harvest time is going on there. A lot better weather than it would be in, of course, Central and Western New York. But also places like Egypt on the north part of the continent here. An amazing time to do a river cruise out on the Nile would be, again, November or January or February here. Take advantage of those kind of slower seasons, because we do know how sacred our summers are here in Central and Western New York. Take advantage of those different seasonal patterns here for the best amount of savings for you. South and Central America, whether it's Costa Rica, which has an amazing amount of biodiversity. So if you're a plant lover or an animal lover specifically, great opportunities there. And this is again, a place where you're going to have a naturalist guide with you the entire time. Multiple night stays throughout that country here. But I love this shot of Machu Picchu, near and dear to my heart. Been there 40 plus times, never will get dull of this destination. And here in November, it's the same exact time zone as it is here on the East Coast. So no jet lag, opposite seasons, and again, more for you to enjoy and explore. Your friends that don't travel with you or don't travel next year, and they see you traveling, they're going to ask you a simple 3-word question. How was it? Your simple 3-word answer back is, you missed out, or I lived my life. And those are the things where it really behooves you to consider not only just these savings, but all those other different things I mentioned earlier about just the flexibility, the consumer confidence level here, the fact that we are looking at these destinations really on a case-by-case basis, because we want to do this safely and securely so that you can enjoy this to the most of your potential. Asia here, 10 to 15% off respectively as well. And of course, Canada and the US, a little bit different times here. In Canada here from May until the end of 2021. And a lot of these are because it's based on some of our itineraries. So for example, when we're doing the Via Rail Canadian Rockies by train with the overnight on the train, or the Calgary Stampede. These are going to be during those times of year where it's kind of best weather, where we're operating not only in Western Canada, but also in the Maritimes, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Prince Rhode Island, effectively there. And of course, the United States. There's no place like home. From January of 2021 all the way until April of 2022, you do have 10% off on savings on that. So again, something to talk about over the holiday season here, the Thanksgiving holiday season, and into the end of the month here to get you amped up and excited here. Of course, the Oberammergau Passion Play, which was postponed in 2020, now slated for 2022. From May until September is when that tour operates here, or when that play operates, 100 performances. We do have 10% savings on the months of May, July, and August, respectively there. Now again, just as a recap and a refresher, Member Choice Vacations, we travel to all 7 continents, 160 plus tours. We're not the cheapest company, we're not the most expensive company, but when it comes to quality and value, that's really what we have. Some of the things that we do not skimp on are our hotels. So whether we're staying at the Chateau Frontenac when we are in Quebec City, yes, it's the same place that's on the back of the $5 bill in Canada, we do that. Domestically, Jekyll Island Club in South Carolina, we stay there as well. Again, people want to have these experiences and not just some random old hotel. Remember that dome shot I showed you earlier there with talking about the explorations lineup? We actually overnight at the Igloo Glass Hotel, 120 miles north of the Arctic Circle in Finland. And if you think it looks pretty cool on the outside, this is what it would look like on the inside, because we do this on our Northern Lights of Finland tour. So great opportunities of seeing the lights here during the winter months. And you know what? They get less snow than we do have in Central and Western New York. A couple degrees colder, but it's stuff that we already have in our dressers and in our coat closets here. Again, amazing experiences. Life's too short. When we realize it, how fragile life is, especially this year with this awful pandemic, go and have that celebration of life. Oh, I love to celebrate life this way. This is our wine barrel rooms that we stay at here in our Northern Portugal and Spain small group touring here as well. So less hotel hopping. We have 50 plus tours that have 3 or fewer hotels. So again, you can be able to unpack, use the drawers, stay a while here as well. Whether it's on tour here, again, our dining, it's different from just the, hey, everybody's going to have the same meal. But here, what we see is nearly 2/3 of all of our dinners are included on tour. That's actually the most in the competitive landscape. And that means you're getting more value. You're not being nickeled and dimed for optional dinners here, there, and whatever, but also the dining experiences that we have. So whether it's dining atop the Eiffel Tower or out on the Sydney Harbor on a cruise, we have it. Prior to that, or I should say, coupled with that, we do have interactive classes. You can see a shot here from our spring roll making here in Thailand, in Vietnam, but we also do this domestically, whether it's at the New Orleans School of Cooking, learn how to make etouffee or jambalaya, we do it. And it's neat because it's, again, really bringing you and your fellow travelers together here in that shared experience and really understanding and appreciating those regional specialties as well. We're just dining under the stars. I mean, again, these are pinch me moments. How cool is this? You put this up on Facebook, or you send a picture of your kids like this, they're going, yep, yeah, they did it right. And this is what we want to show you here is you'll be able to do this right by living your life and traveling with us in 21 or 22. We do offer a choice on tour on nearly 75% of all of our tours. And so if you wanted to do one thing and your traveling companion wants to do another, great, go back, compare notes. You're not paying an extra dime for doing so, but this is one of those examples. Here on the Canadian Rockies, you have a choice of either going out on that snowcat there on the right, on the Columbia ice fields, or the Athabasca Glacier, 1,100 feet thick of ice. Or you can go out on the glass skywalk here over the Sunwapta Valley, 950 feet above the forest floors here. Again, you're not paying an extra dime for doing so. It's just giving you choice to really customize your experience and putting you in control of how you want to spend your day on tour. So again, that peace of mind before leaving, leaving the home, taking the protection plan. Also, again, our air inclusive experiences are all inclusive. Our air inclusive experiences are all inclusive too, because we will have that sedan service that will pick you up within 50 miles of your home. This is a private sedan, not an Uber, not a Lyft. Next, that insurance, as I mentioned to you here, more than anything else, a big benefit for you there. And we do have that loyalty program. This has been extended an extra year here at this point because most people could not travel at all in 2020 unless you went in January or February. But again, between $100 to $150 off your next trip with Member Choice Vacations, plus of course those other benefits, the member benefit there of $50 off, the pre-sold option credit there for you. This is going to be a great way to let you go where next. So take control of your bucket list or your travel to-do list and go and explore these places. You have that bubble already that you set up here. Well, again, private touring, this is going to be from 10 travelers on, just working with your travel consultant here at AAA Western and Central New York. They'll be able to have this happen for you. So we get it. We understand how, there's nothing better than just shared experiences. This would be a once-in-a-lifetime one that you would be able to have with your family or your close friends if you'd like. And again, private touring. So lastly, to close things up here, some new tours for 2021 and 2022. As you can see, they're all explorations, and that's why I emphasize that a little bit stronger there earlier on, because they're all small group touring and really allowing you to get into those nooks and crannies of these destinations. They're going to be roughly about 10 to 12 nights on the road here as well, multiple nights throughout. There'll be a couple here and there where it's one night, but I do want to emphasize this to you because, again, those one nights are usually in places where, yes, it's pretty to stay there for a day, but really after that time, it's good to move on and really see more here. So places like Loch Earn, as you can see right up there in Northern Ireland, an amazing spot. 5-star hotel right out of the water there. Or again, places like the Cotswolds in Western England here, really just bringing you back to watching those PBS shows from 20, 30 years ago, and the little, these little gems that England has. Or Bruges in Belgium with a multiple night stay, 3 in Amsterdam, 2 in Bruges, 2 in the Champagne region, and then 3 in Paris here as well. We do have some across Europe experiences, from the Alps to the Dolomites, and a lot of these are places and towns you go, I've never heard of Agrigento, Italy. Why are we going there? Because these are what's great here is really getting into these cultures, really getting in and meeting with the people and learning how things are. So whether it's having a pasta making course while you're out on a winery or in an olive oil orchard, you have this available there for you. And lastly here, again, the scenery overload. When I was guiding, it was the best office window in the world. And I'll tell you, places like going to Lake Bled here in Slovenia, these are the same locations that you see on a Chromecast or an Amazon Prime Video what's it called here? Screensaver. Why? Because these are the gorgeous spots where you go, oh, I'd love to go there someday. You do have this opportunity here. Working with your travel consultants who are dream makers, they can make this happen for you. And coming soon, a lot more of these here, especially in that exploration lineup. So lastly, to cap things off, don't forget, The promo code here and working with your advisor is SAVEBIG20. You need to mention that to them when they're getting this all set up for you here. The booking window is until December the 1st on this, so do not wait. And again, you do have that added flexibility here as well. For any questions, do not hesitate one bit during this week. We know that there'll be some off hours here on Thursday with the holidays, but we're going to be open on Wednesday, open on Friday here to make sure that your travel dreams are fulfilled for 2021 and 2022. On behalf of AAA Central and Western New York, as well as, of course, AAA Member Choice Vacations, thank you very much for your valuable time. Have a happy Thanksgiving, rest of 2020. Keep healthy, keep safe, and we'll see you on the road soon.
Kevin, thanks. What a great presentation. You brought back some memories, and I have to say, folks, I personally traveled with Member Choice Vacations, and I experienced one of those culinary experiences in New Orleans. I was right in the thick of things, making jambalaya and some other stuff. So great experiences. Totally around the world, wherever you want to go. Now's the time to really think about planning for next year. A lot of folks that miss travel will certainly be booking for next year. Second, third quarter, fourth quarter, very busy. So think about that when you're home with your family over the holidays and where you all want to travel next year. Makes a great holiday gift. So thank you all. If you do have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We are open and want to take advantage of those sale opportunities if you are so inclined. So with that, thank you, Kevin. Thank you to our participants, and I hope everyone has a happy and healthy Thanksgiving holiday. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.